gonna do this. Oh, goodness. You know what? I'll put the bloopers on my second channel. Jedi Ranger's Workshop 2. Link in the description. What's going on, YouTube? It's Jedi Ranger from his workshop, and not today. And we're doing something not abnormal for me, but we're going to show it on video, and we'll see how it goes. There is this guy on Reddit, because I was on Reddit the other day, and I do have my own subreddit. It's not about me, the Jedi Ranger. It is about guitar wiring. So if you need any help, go post there. I might link it in the description. Probably not. Oh well. But he wants a very specific kind of guitar loadout, which I love. I mean, I must say I am a bit of a fan of less than normal loadouts on guitars. My controls, though, are actually pretty simple on this. Ignore that, but I do love a good, just weird guitar layout for controls. And this one isn't honestly all that bad, but it does have a couple cool hidden features that you'll learn a little about how I'm going to do it. So stay tuned and let's get to it. And, well, we're doing something a little bit different. So, as some of you might know, probably none of you know, because nobody watches my channel anyway. I don't really care. I just have fun putting stuff out there. I'm also on Reddit a little bit. I spend a little bit of time there, not much, but I do spend a little bit of time on Reddit. Now, sorry about the echo. I've changed some things in here, and echo is pretty bad. There's a wall right there, and I'm kind of speaking into it. I don't have my microphones in a space that I can really use them right now because my phone is dead, basically. It's 10%, and I decided to do this at the literal worst time. Oh well. And also for the two of you who actually do watch my videos, sorry it's taken me so long to post. School's been kind of busy, but that's kind of a tangent. What I'm doing today is drawing up a wiring diagram for a guy on Reddit. I'll show you the post here. Okay. And the real problem is that he doesn't know how to wire it because, I mean, wiring is not everybody's strong suit. I know, I've done wiring a lot, so I know kind of how a lot of things work, but not everybody does. So what I'm doing now, is kind of brainstorming. I'll send him a more formal diagram, but I have my sketchbook here, and I'm going to kind of show you the setup he has and kind of what he wants. So I'll get to it, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this in a way that kind of makes sense. Sorry, I'm not used to looking at the camera. I'm going to try and do this in a way that sort of makes sense. So what I'm going to be doing, I'll just show you. Okay, so there's a couple different ways to do this. The way I'm going to be doing it is going to be the easy way. As you're about to see, I did not go with it. I changed the plans about halfway through the video. But I could do this in a more complicated way. So in essence, we're going to take the neck and bridge and run them straight to the selector switch. And then the middle pickup will be connected to one of these. And then these two will also be connected to one of these. So you can turn these two pickups on and off separately from the toggle switch. And then the toggle switch will also select which of these you want. And then the middle humbucker will use the other two of these. One will be to turn it on and off. And then the other will be to split the coils. I will, of course, ask if he truly wants them split or if he wants some series parallel, because I can draw up really whatever. The other thing that you could do is run it so where each of these can be turned on or off in a specific way. So you could turn it where the switch does nothing until you toggle some of these when they're down. When they're up, they'll turn them off, is how I would wire them. But you would take the neck pickup separately from the bridge pickup in this scenario and use each of these to turn a single pickup on and off in the toggle, where you would have one for the middle, or you could actually do it in a different way where you could have the middle and bridge linked, or the neck and bridge linked, and then have, or neck and middle linked much rather, and then have a separate one for the middle as well. So to use the selector switch, you would turn on these two, and to use those together really easily, you would turn on the bottom two in this case, which would be the neck and bridge, and then turn off the neck, or no, turn off the middle. Sorry, I misspoke. Also, sorry if I'm loud. I can't really hear myself right now, and the shadow of the things in the way. But that's the other way I could do it. I'm going to do it the easy way because, or control-wise the easy way, rather than how I would probably wire it for myself, because I am stupid and I like the things like that. But that aside, I'm going to try and make this make sense, and then I'm actually going to do it in a more professional way. And I will ask if you want something else for the fourth push-pull pot there. I'm not going to put anything on this diagram because I don't know what exactly they would want. Maybe a selector for which of the coils you want splitted off or whatever. Yeah. All right, so I figured out what the last little thing I need to do is. I know what the last DP/DT switch is going to be for. Hold, please.
5 minutes later.
Okay, so I don't have a good way to explain how this is going to work. But in essence, one of the DP/DT switches, which would be number 4, would control which position the middle pickup is linked to. So what you can do is you can turn... well, maybe. Hold, please. What I was concerned about is he also wanted a coil split. So I forgot to take into account that you need a third one for coil split while still having everything else linked. It's a little complicated how it works, but I might still be able to get away with it. A lot of electronics, especially in guitars, is kind of a compromise because you got to do something else. Unless you want crazy complicated wiring, in which case you can do it, but you need a lot of space. That's your biggest trade-off. In this case, space is also kind of the issue, but not the biggest part of the issue. So what I'm doing now, ignore the stupid mouse, I don't like this one, but it's just what I've got. Right now what I'm doing is turning the diagram that I half made and half didn't. Really didn't, honestly. I showed you what was on it. No, did I even? I don't know. Point is, I'm not using that diagram. That's a rough idea. That's just kind of how I do things. But what I'm going to do now is take the kind of general idea from that diagram and then move it to the digital kind of front so it looks better because my handwriting and everything else is absolutely atrocious. So don't ever have me sign anything for you. Not that you ever would, but you know what I mean. So what I got to do now is, by the way, I work in Canva. Tangent time. You know, here, let me show you a little bit. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to hold this steady, is I'm going to wire it to this probably. Here. MV for middle volume. And we'll use red for it because it's going to be the easiest color to distinguish. I'll use that one. Trying to make sure my camera is still enough so you can actually see what's going on. Okay, so what this is going to do is make me annoyed because it didn't go into about the middle. Okay, closer. So what this is going to do is go... I'm trying here. Ignore the fact that my hand is really shaky. So if that goes out, Well, actually, I don't think it needs to go out, does it? Because if you ground that... Whatever. That's going to be the volume. I'll figure out how that's wired later. But the actual out here will be... Ooh, that's a little janky, but it's fine. One of these. So that's not blue. We'll turn the volume on and off. Give me blue. As you pan across the pot, right? Undo. And oh, great, my internet just went out, but it's fine. So when it's one way, but by using the push pull, you can select which of the position on here. But when it's the other way, positions, the middle pickup will add on to, I guess. That way you can use the selector switch. I usually use green as ground. Each individual pickup, no matter what. It contrasts well, but it isn't like. And then, of course, in the middle with the neck pickup on, you'll have all three. No, we'll do red. And I'll change the other two to purple. It's fine. So this is why sometimes it takes me a while to make videos. Not because I'm drawing these. This doesn't usually actually take that long. It's taking longer because I'm showing you the process. But the reason is because I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to some of this. Now, it doesn't need to be actually perfect, but it needs to be pretty close. But I also know how to do screen recordings and stuff. And I may be the only guy in the school to know how to do this. And I don't know why I'm holding my phone as the camera for this. Because I can do a screen recording. I just choose not to because this is more fun. This feels like YouTube from before I was allowed to watch YouTube. Of course, in the middle, early with the neck pickup on, you'll have all three. So like I said, wiring is about max compromise. So the compromise here, for ease of use, I don't know. I don't want to transfer files. Ease of use for possibilities. So rather than having an extra switch, I know you don't want to hear me ramble, so let's keep going. We have to compact it. These ones are easy actually. So when they're up, they're going to be another switch. So instead of having it on a switch for the neck, what we do instead is put it on the pot that was not going to be used. So this is the middle volume as well as the middle selector. These are not in a pitch we'll do the same thing, by the way. This is just kind of how I laid them out. It'd actually make more sense if I laid this one down here. That's exactly what I'll do. Is I'll put this one down here for the bridge. Yes, I'm lining these up. Don't bother me about it. There. Good enough. It's not good enough. Okay, and then this will be master tone, and that's where the split will be actually. But we'll do that later. I can't believe I'm doing this by holding this. I'm the only person in my entire class, probably really the school even, that knows how to use this well enough, and this is not and move it to there. And the reason I'm doing it this way is so that the volumes are actually independent. So in the middle position, they won't turn off, which is necessary for the middle pickup. But the only thing you have to do to make sure the middle position doesn't turn off is make sure both of your volumes are wired input on the center lug and output on a side lug, not the grounded side lug. The other one as much, but like free space. And the other one. Now the next thing we gotta do, that's just of course, this kind of has to work. So again, it's a compromise. You don't have to do it this way, but it's the only way to do the middle pickup like this. Okay, we'll do within reason, of course. You can do this other ways. You can add another switch even and make it even easier. But it's more complicated neck pickup if you don't have as much as well. And then as you can see, and this is true for like 90% of Les Paul switches, like the ones in a box don't do this. Those ones are a little bit different, but any of the ones that you'll probably find on Amazon at least, which is, I mean, it's what I use. I'm cheap. I don't have a lot of money. So when I wire guitars with the Les Paul switch, I use the Amazon kind of style with it. They have this kind of W shape on them, which is fine. I think a lot of Jazzmaster switches do this as well, with the two sets of two, with the one in the middle being like a common kind of deal, and then this other one is the ground. As you can also see, I know, tangent, 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 but this, none of this is grounded. I usually do that after, so I'll send them both this clean copy and then the one with the grounds on it. The reason I don't always add the grounds first is because it gets really, really messy. And messy guitar wiring is the worst to work with. And I get this isn't the cleanest, but at the same time, it's cleaner than if I had all the ground wires. Now, what should I use for my output color? Well, I usually don't wire on this one because this one just looks nicer. So we'll use like a bright pink. No, how about like an orange? Sure, that one. Use it. And we'll make it on the marker. I'm offline again. I don't know why it does that. Like, I have like not awful internet, especially for where I live. I actually have pretty fast internet. Orange. Yep, that's the color I was looking for. That's orange. Okay, let's get rid of that. Why? Oh, because I'm still not... I changed you. There we go. Okay. This one, middle lug, and then I'll add a tone cap later to the output. Perfect. All right. There's your main wiring. The only other things we need now are kind of the supplemental stuff. Yes, supplemental, as if this wasn't already supplemental. This one's actually pretty easy to do. We will do, sure, we'll do a gray. Well, I guess not, because that'll be that color. We'll do a dark gray then. And these two, you guys probably can't even see it. Hold on. So these two here are your split wires on my diagram. They're blue and green, which is not the usual one. Usually they're red and white, or they could be other colors, but when I do my wiring, most of the time it's red and white together are your split wires. And then you'll have green as your ground wire, and then black, I think, is your usual hot wire. Or they'll come with a yellow one, but usually black is my hot. And then what you do is you wire the black and the, or not the black, you wire the ground, or I guess the finish, to the bare, which is this shielding plate and mounting plate. And that's what gives you your actually good ground and not the bad one.